Hello everyone, welcome back to our next lecture. This topic for today is called as the entrepreneurship and also new ventures. Yeah? There are a couple of things we're going to learn. So today what we will be learning is actually four main things. The first one is what is small business, followed by the importance of small business to our economy. And then we're going to look at what entrepreneurship is and also the key characteristics of entrepreneurs. And then we're going to look at business plan and what is needed in the business plan, and also the choices, the three startup choices that is available for small business. And lastly, we're going to look at the trends of small business, why more and more small business is here nowadays, and also the reason for success and failure. So that's pretty much it for our lecture today. We start our lecture by trying to define what is a small business. Now, as a start, businesses comes in various sizes. So we have micro business, we have small business, we have medium, we also have large business and even bigger businesses. Or the biggest one is global business. And since it's not easy to actually define small businesses, there are various definitions given by various academicians, and depending on country they have different in terms of how they classify a business to be small or not. So we accept this one first as a start. A small business must be a business that is independent. Independent means that they are not part of a large business. If Facebook creates a business, a small business, we don't consider that as a small business, because the funding, the expertise, everything will be by Facebook. It's not part of large business. So it must be independent and it's not tied up to any company, and also they have relatively little influence in the market. So they cannot really influence market in terms of pricing, how the market behave. They adapt to the market. That's a small business. Normally government all over the world, especially the developing and also developed countries, they would have an agency. They would create an agency that would be focusing on helping the small businesses, small medium businesses. In US, for example, they have what they call as SBA, Small Business Administration. This is actually a government agency that is focused in helping the small business in US. In Malaysia, we also have our own agency. In Malaysia, we call them as SME Corporation, SME Corp. This is the website here. This is the link. And if you notice, SME Corporation is also a Malaysian government agency that is created to assist small business in Malaysia. You can go to their website. You can see here, I screenshot this website here. This is a website from SME itself, SMEcorp.gov.my. And then inside this website, there would be so many things that you can find out. From the classification, what is the policy, what initiative, how to get help. There are so many things that is done. One of the responsibility of a small business owner or even an entrepreneur is to know where to find this kind of help. That's why I'm putting it here. There are various help provided. You just need to know to find where they are and also to reach out to these people to get the assistance. And from this website, we can focus more on our own Malaysian definition of small and medium enterprises. For Malaysia, what we do is that we classify whether they are small or medium based on the category first. And from this category, we look at two things. We look at the number of employees and also the sales turnover. You notice here, if you are under manufacturing, for example, if you are under manufacturing, your sales turnover must be from 300,000 to less than 15 million. Or you have employees which is 5 to 75. If you are under this, you are considered as a small enterprise. Under service, sales of 300,000 to less than 3 million only. Not 15 million, only 3 million. 300,000 to 3 million. And also your employee must be 5 to 30. This is what we call as the small business in Malaysia. Of course, again, I repeat, for different countries, they might have different classification. So you have to check your country's classification as well. We also have a medium here. You can pause this video for a while and then you can read what classifies between small and medium itself. Okay. Moving on, we focus on the importance of small business. Undoubtedly, small business play a huge important role in our society, in any country. That is why government set up specific government agency to help this small business, small medium business. And also every single year, government during their annual budget, they would actually go and tell the performance of these businesses, the small businesses or medium businesses. They would also then tell what help they have given. They also tell what is their planning for this. Now they do this to make sure that the small businesses are taken care, to make sure that they survive, and preferably if they can grow better. One of the most important thing about small business is actually job creation. Small business, they always create job. We're going to look at this later on. I have slides after this. Yeah, but they create huge number of jobs. We want to make sure that the small business survive, because if small business survive, then they would have to lay off so many employees, then the number of unemployment rate increases in a country. That's going to be a huge problem, yeah, and negative setback to the government itself. But if we can create more and more small businesses, these small businesses would then employ more and more people, so they would slowly create more jobs for companies. Apart from job creation, small business also provide a lot of innovation. Even companies, for example, like Amazon, companies like Facebook, companies like Apple, even PayPal, these are all created by small businesses. Your flash drive is created by small business actually. The mouse here is created by small business. So small businesses always find innovative way to introduce better product from time to time. And some of these products went extremely well, that because of this product, the small business become big companies. Yeah, they are very innovative, highly innovative, and also they have the capacity to do so. Next, small business also contribute a lot to big businesses. How do small business contribute? Now, a lot of big businesses, when they run something, let's say they run a company, for example, they need the assistance of small business. In terms of, even if you say furnishing the office of a company, normally they would buy it from small businesses. Cleaning up office, sometimes they would find small business to do the cleaning. Yeah, buying utilities for the office, they can actually buy from small businesses. So we depend heavily, small business and large business depend heavily within each other, because small business can provide so many services, materials, at maybe even a cheaper cost to the big businesses. Let's take a look at the importance of small business in US in terms of job. If you notice here, for United States, almost 90% of US businesses have no more than 20 employees. 90% of US businesses have less than 20 employees. You see how important a small business is? Yeah, and the total number of people employed in this business is even more than the big businesses. You can see here, under 20, about 90% of the jobs are actually created by small business. 20 to 99 employees, still another nearly 10%. So they do not mess around. The small business really create a lot of job for countries like US. However, let's take a look at Malaysian market. Alright, in terms of the importance of small business in Malaysia, when we discuss about job creation here, we need to know a couple of things. So I put 4 facts here. First thing first, a quick disclaimer, this is a data for 2019 by our own government agency. Yeah? I took this from them. In Malaysia, in 2019, there are more than 900,000 establishment of SME, small medium enterprise. There are about 900,000. Huge number of companies that is considered under SMEs. Yeah, nearly a million. And from this 900,000, this SME itself, small medium companies, have created about 7.3 million jobs in 2019 alone. Yeah, 7.3 million. Our population is about 32 million. Therefore, huge number of people is actually employed by this. If we do not take care of this company, if this company is gone, for example, they have to close down, these 7.3 million jobs would be badly affected. Imagine, even if it's 10%, that's already 700,000 something people lose their job. That's a huge number of unemployment. That's why we need to really take care of the small business. And also SME itself, they provide about 38.9% of Malaysia GDP in 2019. Again, they contributed heavily on our economy as well. They also pay tax, a lot of tax. And normally they really pay all of these taxes. They do not run away from taxes. Yeah. And you have to understand one more thing. About 48.4% of job, nearly half of Malaysian job is actually created by SME. That's why SME again is crucial for any country's economic health and also people's well-being. Let's also take a look at the popular areas in small business. If you notice from this graph here, they have done a survey, and from this survey, they noticed that these are popular areas in small business. Small business really like to join services. Why do they like to join services more compared to other areas? One of the main reasons why services is popular is because services are cheaper to set up, easier to set up, and this fits very well with small business. Compared to other things, they require heavier investment. It's not that easy to start, and also there might be more procedures, more paperwork needs to be done. So services is fast, cheaper, and also easier to set up. This is why services become one of the most popular area in business. But we also have retailing here that is also popular, followed by construction, and then we have wholesaling, finance, insurance, manufacturing, transportation, and others. You can see transportation is actually quite not that popular as a start for small business. Yeah. Okay, guys. Most of these small company, medium company, large company, or even the global very big companies, they all started with entrepreneurs. Yeah. These entrepreneurs normally entrepreneurs, when they launch a business, they have some intention. Most of the time they have the intention of independent. They want to be independent from working under someone, and also they want financial security. There are some entrepreneurs that do it for the financial security of themselves, and they don't want to grow way beyond until become one of the big businesses in the world. There are entrepreneurs like that. There are also entrepreneurs that do it and then it work well and they aim very big. Regardless, entrepreneurs are normally people, if you see here, entrepreneurs are normally people who accept two things. They accept both risk and also they accept opportunities that are involved when they create a new business venture. Entrepreneurs, they like risk. They can manage risk. They can calculate risk. They take risk, but normally it's a calculated risk. They do not take random risk. Yeah. And also when people give them all of these reasons why they should not do it, an entrepreneur normally they see the opportunity. If you ask people why you should not start a business, everybody can give you 1001 reasons why you should not start a business. But an entrepreneur, what they do is that they can see the opportunities that other people cannot see. Yeah. And that what separate between an entrepreneur and also a manager, a worker, stuff like that. The entrepreneurship, however, is the process of seeking business opportunities under condition of risk. More or less similar lah. You have to understand one thing about entrepreneur. They are normally people who are really hardworking. There's also people that, like I mentioned, they like risk. They can see opportunities and also they act on it. They are not just dreaming about ideas. They are hardworking people that implement actions. Let's take a look at certain characteristics. Normally, entrepreneurs would share certain characteristics such as this. You can see the first characteristic is resourcefulness. Resourcefulness means like this. If there's any issue that's lacking, there's a barrier, there's a wall, instead of just scolding the barrier, scolding the challenge that they face, they would go out and find ways. They create the pathway, they create the road. They'll find the materials, how to get over the challenges. they would go out, find these kind of things. That is what we call as resourcefulness. They'll find ways when other people say there's no other way. Yeah. And also, an entrepreneur normally they are very concerned for good and personal customer relations, because that's their business. Normally they enjoy that, so they always take care of the customers and also the relationship. Yeah. Now, another one is that normally entrepreneurs, like I mentioned just now, they do not like to work under people, but they actually want to be their own bosses. They know they have the leadership capability, they like to lead the team, they like to implement the changes, and they would be their own bosses. Yeah. Lastly, an entrepreneur also have a strong capacity to deal with uncertainty and risk. Uncertainty and risk doesn't break them down. They do not run away from uncertainty and risk. They look at it, they look at from this different perspective. They understand the risk. They know how to overcome this. They know how to limit that. These are some of the characteristics of entrepreneurs. But the main character of all entrepreneurs is hardworking. You can see in my video that I posted in Times, I've given you so many videos related to entrepreneurship. One of the videos, if you can see there, is actually 50 good advice from entrepreneurs. You can see they put that. Please do watch the videos that I've posted in Times. Okay, the next one is actually about business plan here. As an entrepreneur or even as a small business, it is highly recommended that when you start a business, you do your business plan. Prepare them. It's not compulsory for you to actually create a business plan, but a business plan really helps out a lot of things. Yeah, a real benefit of business plan is that when you prepare them, the entrepreneurs is forced to develop business idea on the paper. So you have to write it down on the paper, and also you have to rethink a lot of things. And because of this, it gives you clarity. It allows you to see things that you did not see before. Yeah, and a business plan is just actually a document, a long document, and they put what the business the business strategy is, how it will be implemented, what is the possible challenges, what is the forecast. Let's take a look at the good. Okay, guys, take a look at this. Traditionally, when you have business plan, you have to do it into 9 sections. And then inside these 9 sections, you will have all of these things that I've listed here. Yeah, the first one is executive summary. You do the executive summary at the end of your business plan. Yeah, you do everything else first. At the end, you summarize and you put it as executive summary. But in your business plan, it will come up first. And here in executive summary, you will briefly tell your reader what your company is and why it will be successful. That's what you need to convince. Yeah. The next one, you would then follow with company description. You'll discuss where you're located, what your company is, what are you doing, who founded this, the vision, the goal behind it. And then you follow by market analysis. You do market research, analyze, breakdown of the market, how you can tackle the market, who your potential customers are. And also you put the organization and management, your founder, your team, what is the department that you have. And then you go for service or product line. What you're selling, if your product line is that product A, B, C, D, okay, what are these, what are the pricing, and then you discuss about the marketing and sales, your marketing strategy, your sales strategy, your forecast marketing strategy, the cost of marketing, the investment for marketing, what kind of marketing initiative you have done, how well it worked so far, or what you want to do. And then the funding request. You do funding request if you want to, for example, send it to get investors, or you want to apply for a loan, or you want to apply for government grant. You have to do this. Yeah. And also lastly, the financial projection from year 0 until year 1, year 2, and then year 5. 5 years. Normally 5 years should be sufficient. Depends on the investor's requirement as well. So this is the traditional business plan that you need to have. The good thing about business plan is that right now there are so many good templates of business plan provided already online. You can just download them, you can see, check through them, whatever can be applied, you can apply them. Yeah. Okay, this is our lecture code for today. Please take your time to key in the lecture code for our attendance today. The next part here talks about starting a small business. If you intend to start a small business, what are the ways to do so? So I brought here 3 ways for you to do it. It's in a pyramid form for a reason. I'll tell you the reason after this. The first one is starting from scratch. You can see here. You want to start a business? You can start from scratch, from zero. And also you can use franchising. You can also buy an existing business. The reason why it's in pyramid form because of the starting from scratch is the most popular method of starting a small business, followed by franchising and also buying an existing business. Each of these methods to start a small business have their own pros and cons. Let's take a look at each and every single one of them. Next, we take a look deeper on starting from scratch. Again, quick reminder, starting from scratch is the most popular way to start a business. There are a couple of benefits about starting from scratch. The first one, it tends to be cheaper compared to franchising or even buying an existing business. It tends to be cheaper. And also, if you start from scratch, you can choose everything. You can choose your employee, you can choose where your office is situated, you can choose your equipment, you can design your own policy, you can choose your own culture, vision, mission, everything you start from scratch. So you are free to choose everything, and people like this. They like to have control and decide a lot of things. And also when you start from scratch, you do not suffer any previous issue. You do not inherit any problem because you are starting from zero. That's the beauty of it, and that's why people like it so much. Next, you can also mold your company to your own liking. Like I mentioned, you can decide your own culture, you can decide the work method, you can decide the rules, regulation, policies, how to deal with customers, everything. So you can create your own company to your own liking and to your own idea. This is another main reason why starting from scratch is very popular. The problem is when start from scratch, first of all, you do not have any previous data or sales record. It can be a little bit tricky to project sales. Realistically, yeah. Also, it can be a little bit tough to get an investor to join in. It can also be tough to get a loan because you do not have any data, you do not have anything to shout out, you do not have any evidence as well. This can be a challenge if you want to get funding. Next, and also harder to get financing. We move on to the next one. If you buy an existing business, the beautiful thing about buying an existing business is that the business already have proven track record. You know your sales, you know the growth, you know the issues faced, you know how the company have been performing. So it can be a little bit easier to convince people to join your company. It can be a little bit easier to get investors. It can be easier to apply for a loan or even government grant. That's the beauty of buying an existing business. And you also have your own database. You know who your suppliers are, you know who your customers are, you know your stakeholders, you know your local people, you know your staff, and this database can be very helpful when you run the business itself. Because sometimes when you buy an existing business, the business might already be good. You can just run it. Or if you buy an existing business, maybe the business is actually good, it's just the management have some issue. So you correct the issue, you can actually make sure that the company runs very well. There are companies that people buy and become very successful. For example, McDonald's. The owner bought McDonald's and then it becomes very successful compared to when the previous owner was handling it. Yeah. Another beautiful thing about buying an existing business is that if you buy today, it is yours. You can directly run the business. You don't have to wait because everything is already there. You just run it again and then just amend it a little bit, resolve a couple of issues, improve the company again. So you start today, sales can be generated today as well. And another beautiful thing about buying an existing business is because you already have a relationship with all the stakeholders. You have the relationship with the government, the suppliers, the customers, this stakeholder. And the relationship is actually quite hard to establish. So you take over, the relationship is there, you just continue or improve the relationship. That's another beautiful thing about buying an existing business. The problem with buying an existing business is that you might inherit every single problem. If they have a debt, you, guess what? Now it's under you. If they have employee issue, toxic employee, toxic management, guess what? Now it's your issue that you have to resolve. If they have problems with the supplier last time, now you inherit their problems. You have to resolve that. That's something that a lot of people don't like actually. And another thing is, another possible setback of buying an existing business is you might overpay the company value. You see, if I'm selling you my business, I would try to sell as high as possible. Might even exaggerate things to make sure that you buy it at a higher price than it is supposed to be. And that becomes an issue. And there are also issues whereby sometimes the previous business owner tried to hide all of this information that is actually make sure that the company doesn't look good. So they try to hide it, they project the best of image, and when you buy and own the business, now you know actually things are not as beautiful as you thought. That's another problem with buying existing business. So we have done starting from scratch. We have also discussed a little bit on buying an existing business. We move on to franchise. In franchising, when I say franchising, people directly imagine McDonald's, KFC, Pizza Hut, this kind of thing. It is true. But how does franchising work? In franchising, there are two parties involved. Yeah? There's a franchisor or franchisor, which is the person who sells the right. I own the company, I own the brand, I own the product, I sell you the right to do the business. Yeah? And there's also the buyer, franchisee. If you buy from me, then you are the franchisee. So you normally have to pay for the franchising fee, and also there's other fees as well. And then from that, I would tell you how to do it. I would give you the right to open up the branch anywhere that we agree. Okay. The best thing about franchising is normally it gives you proven business opportunity, because you can see the brand itself is working well. They have done so much effort and money spent on advertising, branding itself. So it tends to give you a good business opportunity. Failure rate is reduced. And also, when you are the franchisee and I'm the franchisor, you can benefit a lot from me, because I'm going to teach you my expertise. I'm going to lend you my expertise. I'm going to help to train your employees. I'm going to tell you how it works. I'm going to give you perhaps the SOPs, the blueprint. I can also tell you the experience. You will benefit a lot from this, because it took me years and years to actually develop all of these things. And a lot of the issues that you might face is already resolved by the franchisor. And this is why people also prefer franchising. And I would also provide a lot of assistance, sometimes even up to marketing. Marketing I might do for you, so you don't have to do the marketing, just run the business as it is. The training, I would set up the training for you and your employee. You can go and train. I will set up even the machine perhaps that you need to use, the layout of the place itself. I can give you that to that extent. So all of this assistance can be very beneficial for the franchisee, because it saves a lot of their time. They can directly focus on making money as fast as they can. That's why franchising can be very interesting and attractive to people. But the startup cost for franchising can be very expensive. You have to pay for the franchising fee. It can be expensive on certain company. It can be cheaper. And on top of that, there's also ongoing payments. We call them as royalty. It's like a fee, but from franchising we call royalty. You have to pay based on perhaps profits, sometimes based on sales, and then depend on franchisor or franchisor. Sometimes we do it yearly or even 6 months. Every 6 months you have to pay for the royalty fee. And lastly, the thing that some people don't like, because franchisor or franchisor, they tend to give you rules and restrictions. Therefore, you are not that completely free to make your own business decision. You have to follow what I approve and don't approve. Then only you can make business decision. That's why some people, they argue that franchising is actually more towards like me working under the franchisor. But it all depends on people's perspective. Yeah. Okay guys, we have covered a lot of things for today. Now we move on to the trend in small business startup. Why is a lot of business starting up? Yeah, couple of reasons why so many small business start up. The first reason why there are so many small business start up nowadays is that this one, emergence of e-commerce. as our technology improve, as our telecommunication improve, our internet improve, and also due to other reasons, we can see that more and more people actually are involved in buying and selling online. So e-commerce have become a very good platform for small business to jump in. And since e-commerce can provide a very cheap cost of starting a business compared to the traditional brick and mortar way, therefore businesses like to really start in e-commerce. E-commerce have helped small business to start at home even. Yeah? The next one is crossover from big businesses. What does it mean? It means that we notice there are so many professional or people that have been working from big businesses, large corporations. They have stopped their work and then they jump in and do their business. This is actually a very smart way of doing so. They have went to several large companies, gathering network, gathering knowledge, understanding how process works, understanding so many things. After several years, they also have the pool of money. They directly jump and then they join in and start their own small business. We can see that more and more people leaving big businesses to start their own business, even if it's small. Yeah? And number 3 is because of better opportunities for minorities and women. We can see that as our country and as our society improve, the opportunities for minority people and also for women to start business is more compared to before. And right now you can see actually there are many small businesses that are started by minorities and women, and they tend to do very well actually as well. Yeah? We don't separate them anymore. The market, the government, the rules and regulation actually encourage and allow them to quickly participate in small business. So now they jump in. Lastly is the global opportunity. Compared to maybe 50 years back, 40 years back, nowadays it's easier for you to sell anywhere all over the world. You can start your business in your own room, in your own house, and you can sell to customers that from other countries or even from other continents. And because of this global opportunity, and since government also all over the world have agreed to reduce the taxes, make sure that import and export is easier, therefore we can see there's a boom of small business startup all over the world. I would like to share with you one interesting slide. They actually did a survey and they noticed that these are some of the reasons why women start their own business. The first reason, which is most popular, is gain control over their schedule. Because nowadays women can start business anywhere. They can start at home, they can set up a small company. Therefore, it's easier for them to juggle their responsibility. They can be, at the same time, they can fulfill their responsibility as a mother, as a wife, perhaps as a daughter, and also maybe as an employee at home while doing their business. They can kill many birds with one stone. And it's also thanks to the technology itself. That's why women believe that now I can manage my life better. I can also do my business. Main reason why they start a business. Second is they saw a market opportunity. What happened is that because as the country make it easier to buy and sell, we human being customers also are now, we trust each other better. We also trust to buy from e-commerce. We also trust to buy from other countries. That's why the market have grown. As the market grow, women see that okay, now it's easier for me to sell anywhere all over the world. This is another reason why women start their business. The last one, which is also very realistic as well in certain countries, is due to the glass ceiling. There are some countries and some companies that have a glass ceiling for women, which means that if you're a woman in certain places, no matter how successful or how dedicated you are, you cannot go higher in terms of position. Some positions are kept for men, and women tend to be frustrated with this. Again, I emphasize, not all company, not all country do this. It is in certain places, yeah. And women that are in this kind of scenario, in this kind of situation, or in this kind of country, feel trapped. Therefore, what they do is that they just leave the organization, they start their own company, they become the boss, they become the manager, and it's work better for them. This is another reason. And then we have other reasons. Huh? Okay guys, we are left with two final slides. This slide will discuss about the reasons for success and also the reasons for failure. Why some people when they start the business they are so successful and some people when they start the business they are not. The first reason, if you look at this here, if you ask any entrepreneurs or any business owner, they will say the same thing: hard work. Nothing beats hard work. You need to be committed, you need to be willing to spend your time, your effort, your energy, your ideas over and over and over again, sometimes for months, sometimes for years, to grow your business until it is successful. It's not that easy, but it is doable. Hard work. Again, I've also posted videos in our times, you can see it, and you can see so many entrepreneurs say the same thing. Next one is the market demand. Okay, you can see the market demand here. The thing is, a good and successful entrepreneurs, they do a lot of careful analysis of the market itself, and this would really help the owner, small business owner, to assess whether their product is being accepted or not from day one itself. This is another reason market demand is there. The next one is actually managerial competence. This part here. So successful owners, normally what they do is that they have the experience or they are able to get expertise from other people to help them in their business. A lot of these business owner or entrepreneurs, they are actually very, very capable to manage the company. They have years of experience. They have attended various trainings. They have went to many places, and that what makes them a successful business owner. Okay. And lastly, of course, there's luck. Sometimes it's just they start business, good timing, perfect timing, luck plays an important role as well. We are not going to neglect that. Yeah.